All right. Here we go. This is day 2 on multiplying. Okay, so nothing new today. We did all that, cut it in half and distribute it yesterday. Remember all that? Okay, so we're just going to expand on that today. So I want to know who's right. And I want to know why. Pearl is right? Pearl is correct? Pearl's not correct? Which is it? Pearl is not correct? Okay. Pearl is wrong. Let's take a look at what Ted did. What did Ted do with his coefficients? So that's a 6. What did he do with his exponents? So we got a 4. Here we get an 8. Now remember, there's a little 1 on this guy, right? Which means that should be a 3. And then we're good there. Fair enough? Okay, so what I need from you is a sentence that says who's right and why they're right. Or tell me who's right and why the other person is wrong. What is wrong with Pearl's explanation? Where did she go wrong? This times this is not this, right? Okay, so I don't care how you write the sentence, but I do need to know who's correct and then either why they're correct or why the other person is wrong. Please make sure you start with a capital letter, end with a period. Exponents or powers, if you want to use that word. All right, so let's recall what we did yesterday. Okay, we multiplied a lot of things yesterday. The first kind of things that we multiplied was a monomial by a polynomial. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to give me an example of this. So can somebody tell me a monomial? 3x. Can you give me a power on that? Great. Now can you give me a polynomial? Great, we'll just call it there. Is that a polynomial? It is. Now, what do I have to do to this to multiply it? You use the distributive property. And when we use the distributive property, there's 2 parts to it. We do something with the coefficients, we do something different with the exponents. What do we do with the coefficients? You're going to multiply the coefficients. And what do we do with the exponents? So let's multiply. Let's distribute this example that we just created. You ready? Oh, hold on a second. Don't you good or no? Okay, so what do you got? Anybody? 9x to the 5th. Good. Do you notice how we just kind of dropped that x squared in there because there were no other x's? Does everybody see that? Yes? Plus, and again, we just dropped that x to the 2nd in there because there were no other x's. How are we with a monomial times a polynomial? Great. Look at your examples in the middle section. Which one of those, actually, which 2 of those require you to distribute like that? 4 definitely does. Everybody see number 4 right there? That looks like distributing, doesn't it? And number 5, yes. Is everybody good with 4 and 5? Good, let's do them. We're just going to go around the room today. Let's start in the back with Tyler. Oh, come on. Come on. All right, distribute that on negative 3x squared, sir. Okay, what about your... Good, keep going. x to the third power. Okay. Got it. Now, can any of those go together, Tyler? Any of them have the same variables? Nope, so we'd leave them just like that. Notice this is already in standard form. It goes from highest power to lowest power, which is what we want. Any questions on number 4? Okay, Dalton, can you distribute in number 5 for me? You okay, Dylan? No, he said to the second. I think you said 6t to the second, right? You said 6t squared t to the second in front? Yeah, okay. And then you said minus 45 here. Good. Okay, can you now distribute the 6t? You can distribute it. So what's 6 times 5? Yep, and then that'll be t to the what power? T to the second power, perfect. And then 6t times 2? 12t. Guys, how we doing with all that distributing? That's a lot. Now I got to combine some like terms. So Logan, I'm going to start with my highest power, which is the squareds. If I put my t squareds together, how many of them do I get? Nope, we're just putting them together, so add them. There we go. 36 t squared. Can you tell me about your regular t's here? What do we get there? Say it again. Close. See how this says minus 12? So if I do minus 12 plus 12, they're gone, right? 0. Everybody go with that being 0? And then we'll just drop down that minus 45. How is everybody there? Those are the monomial times polynomial problems. Fair enough? Okay, the other problems we did yesterday was a polynomial times a polynomial. So let's do an example of that. And let's do a binomial times a binomial. Can somebody give me a binomial? 4a plus, don't put an a on it. Is that okay for a binomial? Can you give me another one? No, just give me a binomial. What was it again? Okay, we can do that. Does it matter if they're the same thing? No, it doesn't. Not at all. Oh, that's okay. I'm okay with them being the same. But to do this, we are going to split them in half. But remember yesterday I called it repeated distributing. Repeated distributing. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the first one in half. Does everybody see how I split it between the a and the plus sign? Yes? Okay, so that's going to be 4a, and we're going to multiply it by the other parentheses. Take this 4a times the other parentheses. Then we take the plus 3 and we multiply it by the other parentheses. Now, does everybody see this plus sign in here? Fourth period, we had a little issue bringing this symbol with it. If it's a plus, you got to put the plus in there. If it's a minus, you got to put the minus in there. We all good? Okay, so, oh yes, Luke. I would like you to put that plus sign in there. Okay? Cody, distribute for me. 4a times 4a. Not just a. There we go. Remember, folks, there's little ones on there, so that would be a to the second. Keep going. Okay, how about here? And how about on the end? Awesome. Put your middle two terms together, and my final answer is... Got it. Folks, how we doing here? Do we remember how we split them in half? Yes? So let's practice that. Sarah, how we doing so far? Sure? Okay. When you're ready, I'm going to walk you through the next one, okay? So here we go. This is a binomial times a binomial. So Sarah, we're going to cut this in half. We're going to take this x and multiply it by this parentheses. We're going to take the plus 5 and also multiply it by that parentheses, which is why we call this repeated distributing. Is that okay? Everybody else following all right? Yep. Okay, so Sarah, what is x times 2x? There's a 1 here and a 1 here, so that's going to make 2x to the second power. Good. How about here? 3. Yep. How about here? Try again, we're multiplying. 5 times 2? Try again. What's 5 times 2? There we go. That's okay, 10x. And then 5 times 3 gives me 15. Perfect. How are we doing here, guys? Fine? Yes? The only thing left to be done, Sarah, is to put these x's together in the middle. They're like terms. 13x. Does everybody follow Sarah's work there? Yes? Okay. Dylan, I'm up to you. Number 2, can you tell me the setup here? Okay. And then? How is everybody with that? Okay. Distribute for me now, Dylan. What do I get here? 8a. Good. 8a squared. Okay. How about here? Mm-hmm. Perfect. Last but not least, sir, put together your a's in the middle. What do you get? Perfect. That was pretty fast. How'd you guys do? Did we keep up okay? Any surprises? Any concerns? No? Excuse me. Savannah, you're next. What's the setup, ma'am? Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Distribute. Okay, and if you put your like terms together in the middle, I couldn't have said it better myself. We're okay? You sure? I don't quite believe you. We're okay? Okay. You're kind of creeping me out a little bit. Huh? What? Huh? Yeah. I think he probably knew he was doing that. He's just giving me a hard time. Yeah. Okay, so take a look at my next 2 problems. A little bit different, right? It doesn't matter at all. But this time I have a binomial times a trinomial. Fair enough? How many terms in a binomial? 2 in a binomial. How many terms in a trinomial? 3. So if I do 2 terms times 3 terms, I should get 6 terms. So, Derek, can you give me the setup if I cut that first one in half? Okay, so folks, if you run into this other problem, that's fine, because we're going to put this other one on the back. Okay? So if you need to go over into that space, that's okay. All right, Derek, can you please distribute for me? Yep. Perfect. Did he end up with 6 terms? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. But he has like terms that can go together. And remember, folks, when we do this, we want to start from highest power to lowest power. So nothing goes with this x to the third. So we're just going to start with that. Derek, how many x squareds do you get? Negative 8x squareds. How many regular x's? Okay, and then your constant is good. Folks, how are we doing with this? Do you see how it's just more of the same cut it in half and distribute it? It's the same thing. So what I want you to do is flip it over to the back where you've got lots of room, and I want you to try number 7, please. Okay. You don't. If you got enough room, just, yeah, put it right in there. But if you need more room, if it were me, I would need more room. I'd put it on the back. Go ahead and do it on the back. Yeah. Yeah, it didn't copy very well, so it's okay. You want me to read it to you, Tyler? You want me to read it to you? 3x minus 2, and put those in parentheses. And then 2x squared minus 5x minus 4. You're welcome. Cut the first one in half and distribute. At this point, you're just saying thank you, right, Dylan? Yes. The last 2? You don't know how to do them yet. You can guess how to? You might be able to get down to like the last couple steps, but you don't know how to do the last couple steps yet. I know. There's supposed to be like 5 questions back there that just didn't copy. Always. We still got 2 more to go. All right, Luke, you're up. Are you ready? Okay, can you distribute for me? Good? Okay, now the 6x to the third drops down. Guys, I'm not quite done with this yet. I know you're all excited. That actually makes me excited that you're excited that you got it right. But still, what do you get here? And then your x's. All right. Questions on this? How do we feel about the setup? How do we feel about the distributing? How do we feel about the combining the like terms? Don't be writing on my desk back there. I know, you're not the one that started it, but okay. Yes. How we doing? Fine? What's different about the next problem? So therefore, I actually have to solve it. No, just watch. You all know what to do with this, don't you? Cut it in half and distribute. So let's do that first. And don't worry, we're going to put that one on the back. So if you need to run into that, that's fine. So we cut it in half. Notice the plus has to go with the 2. And now we're ready to distribute. And Dalton, I'm back to the beginning. So will you distribute this for me? Was that an actual sneeze? Yep. Uh-huh. Okay, so if I put those x's together in the middle, Dalton, what is negative 5x plus 2x? Negative 5 plus 2. Negative 3, and that'll just be an x. Folks, how are we with the left-hand side? Great. So we're going to do the same thing on the right-hand side. We know what to do with this. Tyler, we're going to cut it in half, and we're going to distribute. So it'll be x times x minus 3 minus 1 times x minus 3. Go for it. Distribute. Mm-hmm. 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 Plus 3. Okay. The noise making can stop. No. Right here? Right here? Oh, no, it's an equal sign. Yep. Okay, put these together for me, Tyler. What do I get in the middle? X's. Okay, now, folks, there is an equal sign between them. Now, we have solved lots of equations, and always I tell you to get your x's together, right? Well, I have x's and x squareds. They're just two different variables, okay? So let's get our x squareds together, then we'll get our x's together, and then we'll solve it. So if I get my x squareds together, I normally tell you to move the smaller one over, don't I? Well, there is no one that's smaller. They're both the same. So how would I move this one over here? I would subtract it. What happens when I subtract them? They're gone, which is a great thing, because now I am left with negative 3x minus 10 equals negative 4x plus 3. And this is something you should know how to solve. Plain and simple. What are you going to do? Plus the 4 what? So what do I have now? Keep going. Now what? So that is my answer. X equals 13. Yep. Okay, let's flip it over. I'll read you this one to put on the back, okay? Are you ready? Yeah? Okay, parentheses, 2x minus 5, close parentheses, open parentheses, x minus 4, close parentheses, plus 2x, open parentheses, 1 minus x, close parentheses, equals 0. Ooh. Yep, that's exactly what we're going to do. Are you ready? Yes? Dalton? Okay, you're fine. You guys can start multiplying if you're ready. Are you ready, Dalton? Okay, so I'm going to cut this first one in half. I'm going to set it up, then you're going to multiply it for me. All right. Whenever you're ready. Okay. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And that'll have an X on it. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Perfect. And then can you tell me how many X's you get in the middle? Negative 8 minus 5. Negative 13. Folks, how you doing with Dalton's work here? Great. Okay. This guy over here, it just needs distributed. That's a monomial times that. Everybody see how that's just distributing? All right, Logan, what is 2x times 1? Good. And what is 2x times negative x? This will have a 1 here and a 1 here, right? So that'll make x what? If you add 1 and 1, you get 2. So this will be negative 2x squared. How we doing there, folks? And this still equals 0, doesn't it? All right, so now notice everything's on one side. So we're just putting them together. I don't think x equals 0. What happens to your x squareds? They cancel. Now I can put these regular x's together. Negative 11. And then the plus 20. And then equals 0. You guys solve that. You should have no problem solving that. Why don't you give me a fraction answer and a decimal answer? What's that? Sure I did. Plus 2x. Down here? Because we combine it with a negative 13. This, they canceled. 2x squared minus 2x squared. So what are you doing first, guys? Subtracting the 20. So I have negative 11x equals negative 20. Then what? Luke, what's wrong, kiddo? No, I want a decimal and a fraction. Both of them. Yeah, you should have both. divide by negative 11. So what is x in the decimal form? And the 8 1 repeats, doesn't it? So we got a bar over it. Now, with that on your screen, do second, then PRB, and tell me what the fraction is. 1 and 9/11. How we doing, guys? Does anybody have any questions for me? You sure? Yes? Yes? Okay. Homework for tonight. Now, I'm going to scroll past all of these questions that are supposed to be there but are not. That was the one that's at the bottom but not at the bottom. Don't worry. Man. Delton, you're up. Hold on, I can't hear him. I wrote them on the paper. Okay, so you got those 6 problems to do. As long as you're actually working. Yes. You start talking about things that is not math. Sarah's selling you out over there. Hey now, I don't need to hear that. I was leaving it for you.